What's going on, everyone? Welcome one, welcome all. Episode 34 of the Casey and Tyler Show. Got a lot of football today, guys. A lot of football. We're going to do a Super Wildcard Weekend recap. We'll preview the upcoming Divisional round games. Then at the end of the show...
Super Divisional round.
Regular Divisional round. And then at the end, we'll just kind of bullshit back and forth about some sports stuff, other sports news that's going on today. Got some cool stats. I got an article that I think will be fun to talk about. It is all the trends for the head referees in the upcoming games this weekend. So some penalties, some unders, some stuff like that, you guys should keep in mind heading into it. But without further ado, Casey, anything you want to say?
Let's fucking do this.
All right. I just want to start off with this. I picked every game correctly last weekend.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You picked Tampa. I thought you swear to God you picked Tampa.
I picked Tampa. I did not pick every game correctly last weekend.
You were almost correct. I mean,
yes.
I remember me and you talking before that game.
Yeah.
You're like, if Tampa wins, I correct it. But then they shit the bed on you.
So we both only lost one game, though. You missed out on the Vikings, and I missed out on the Cowboys.
Yep.
Nice. Cool. So you have... Let me see. All right, we'll get into that when we cover the upcoming games. All right, let's recap this first one here. Seahawks at 49ers. KC Seahawks, or 49ers, looked great. They win 41-23. It was a good game. Brock Purdy balled out, 18 of 30, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he ran for a touchdown. C-Mac, Chris McCaffrey, looking like that trade is just looking better by the week. 15 carries for 119 yards. Geno Smith played well, 25 of 35, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
I mean, it was a great first half.
It was a good first half. 49ers, they're just supremely talented.
I mean, honestly, I was nervous. Because
Yeah.
I bet 49ers minus 9.5, and then Seahawks went into halftime up 17-16. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on?
Good first half, but like I was just going to say, the Seahawks or the 49ers, we're going to do this again, where I just remember that one episode, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. The 49ers, are just so supremely talented on both sides of the ball. They just wear you down, man.
Oh, yeah.
And even with Brock Purdy, I have in here, can Mr. Irrelevant keep it up? And I think he can. I think he's so insulated.
It's how they run their offense. They have so many weapons around him to where it's like, okay, well, you have CMC, you have
Debo,
Ayuk,
Kittle,
you have Debo,
Ayuk. Yeah.
You have all these guys that are around him.
And
it's like you don't need to play the game conservatively. Hand it off to McCaffrey. If something happens, you have a little dig down to McCaffrey. Their team is great.
Well, and not to mention, they get back Elijah Mitchell, right? And so having, another competent back behind C-Mac only had to touch the ball 15 times. You know what I mean? They're not asking him to carry it 30 times a game. I think that's going to help keep them healthy as the postseason goes forward. It was a good game. Brock Purdy... I was super impressed because he didn't look super comfortable in the first half. One of the announcers mentioned that one thing Kyle Shanahan really wanted Purdy to work on was when he feels pressure to step up in the pocket and not try to bail out and roll out, because then half the field's taken away. You could take a huge sack. Who knows? And they mentioned that, and he was kind of doing that in the first half. He was getting flushed out, looked like kind of not as poised. And then it's almost like at halftime, Shanahan was like, "Hey, you're good. Remember what we talked about?" And he just looked great. In the second half of that football game. So 49ers, I think we'll talk about them upcoming here in a little bit, but they're going to be a force for any team they play.
Well, they're the definition of defense wins championships.
Yeah, best defense in the league probably.
Yeah.
They're good. Another quick thing here. Do you think Geno Smith played well enough to be the quarterback of the future for Seattle?
No. I mean, it's one of
like
those things
overall
where
this year. I mean,
well, yes. I mean, I think maybe he'll have a shot at competing next year, but I say in the draft they try to go after someone.
That's kind of everything I was reading, putting the show sheet together, is that like they're mocked to either trade up for a guy or some maybe a potential trade partner for the Lions. They're at 6, but I was impressed with Geno Smith this year, man. I think he led all of the NFL in completion percentage. Completed over 70% of his passes. Just a great story,
32.
Right? And that just finally getting another opportunity. Maybe it's one of those things where it's just a good fit for him there. And they got weapons too. Seattle's got arguably maybe the third or fourth best receiving duo in Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So we'll see what happens there. K9 had a pretty good game. It'll be interesting to see what Seattle does moving forward, especially with that whole QB situation. And like, are they going to? It feels like after Russell Wilson, everyone thought they were going to go straight into like rebuild mode, and here they are in the playoffs. So,
right.
Thanks to the refs. Should have been the Lions, but regardless. All right, let's move on. Next game, Chargers at Jags. This game was insane. Jags win 31-30. Chargers led 27-0 at one point. I think you just corrected, so it was 27-7 at half.
Yeah, it was 27-0 at one point, but Jags scored right before half.
Okay.
I shut the game off when it hit 27 zip, and then started watching a movie. Because I bet the Jags. And then
I was texting you like, Casey, this is crazy, and you're like, I fell asleep. I don't know. You're like, I'm not watching. I was like, put it on.
Woke up. It was like at the end of the game. Ended up like, thank God I was able to rewind it. Rewinded it. Watched the entire second half. It was like I didn't go to bed Saturday night until like 4 a.m. because I was watching the rest of this game.
Yeah. It was a good game. I mean, obviously we both wanted the Jags to win. We both picked the Jags to win, being at home. Trevor Lawrence. He rebounded. He was 28 of 47 for 288 yards, 4 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. I think he had 3 in the first half.
4 in the first half.
So all 4 of his interceptions
I'm pretty sure
were in
all
the first.
4 were in the first
I think
half.
you're right. Yeah, because there was at one point he had completed more passes to the other team than he did to his own team.
I had to delete a tweet Sunday morning.
What'd you say?
I had to delete a tweet Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
I pretty much tweeted right at Trevor Lawrence, you fucking suck.
Oh, man. Well, that's what sports will do to you. Etienne, good bounce back year after suffering that injury at the beginning of the year last year. 20 carries, 109 yards, kind of did exactly what they needed him to do. Change of pace guy. Herbert, rough game for Herbert, 25 of 43, only 273 yards and only 1 touchdown. I'm pretty surprised the Chargers didn't fire their coach after this game.
Oh, I know.
I for sure
you
thought
blow
he was
a 27 zip lead in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Yeah. It's funny. Like he was asked after the game, like, do you feel like you got out coached? And he said, well, not in one half. What? What is that? Like,
I mean, he is correct.
I
Because
guess.
he did kick the shit out of him in one half, then got his ass kicked the second half.
I saw the funniest meme. You know how Cliff Kingsbury took a one-way ticket to Thailand after
Oh my
the
god, that's so funny.
The meme was from like Hangover 2, where they're in Bangkok and the guy's like on a boat with a guitar, and it was like Brandon Staley on his way to join Cliff Kingsbury in Thailand. I was like, yeah, probably. Pretty cool. After the game, Trevor Lawrence went to Waffle House. Like,
Yeah,
just said
I
he
think
was-
that's really cool.
He was just craving some waffles, I guess. It's still hard, you got to remember, like, yeah, I know right, he's a kid, right? Like, he's still, so I don't know. It was a good
21?
game. Yeah, I'd be like 22, 23, right?
Yeah, he has to, because you have to be like 20, at least 20 to probably go into the league.
Yeah, well, you got to think 3 years typically in college. If you get to college when you're 17, 18, you're going to be 20, 21 when you're out. He's been in, this is the second year, so.
Yeah, so he's probably 22, 23.
Just a good win for the Jags. I mean, they got to have a ton of confidence heading into their next game to come back like that, get a good win at home. Thought it was really cool that a lot of the Jags fans stuck around. I think if the second half would have started, or if the first half didn't end the way it did, maybe you would have saw quite a few of the Duval loyal members or whatever bounce. But they stuck around. The crowd was in it, and Peterson, man, when I was recapping this game and putting in some of these stats, one thing that was interesting was I don't know what the Chargers either changed on defense or what the Jags changed on offense, because they had no ability to pass the football in the first half, and all of a sudden it was like a brand new offense. It was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. So sorry, Caleb Breslin, one of my good buddies. Huge Chargers fan. I had to shoot him texts, thoughts and prayers. He was losing his mind. Yeah. I said, welcome to, this is how Lions fans typically always feel.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't feel bad for you, or any of the Chargers fans. I will say, because of all the rumors with Sean Payton, he wants to go somewhere warm, and I think he lives in L.A. I can't believe they didn't even just be like, call him if he's interested, then fire Brandon Staley. Not only because it feels like Herbert's regressed a little bit too. And that's never something you want to see. I'm still in on Herbert.
I'm a Herbert fan, but I never thought he is as good as people say he is. I've always known he's just a mediocre quarterback to me.
Yeah, that's fair. He's got to prove it, right? He's got to prove it. Going to be a long offseason for Chargers fans.
Yep,
to say the least. Next game, this was surprisingly close. Dolphins at Bills. Bills win 34-31. Ultimately, Josh Allen and the Bills move on. I think this is probably a good wake-up call for the Bills. Sometimes as a coach, you like when things like this happen because you can now go into the locker room and be like, we almost lost a third-string quarterback. If you guys have any dreams of winning a Super Bowl, we can't play like that.
Right.
Allen, decent game, good game. 23 of 39, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did have 2 interceptions, though. They got to take care of the ball a little bit better. He only carried it. Yeah, he only carried it 4 times for 20 yards, too. I wonder if as the postseason goes on, we'll see him utilizing that skill set a little bit more. It's what makes him arguably the best quarterback in the NFL is his mobility. So Diggs just does what Diggs does. 7 receptions on 9 targets for 114 yards. Let's talk about Skylar Thompson, third-string quarterback for Miami. Looked like he was in over his head, but did enough to keep it close. 18 of 45, 220 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. I think the story of this game is Mike McDaniel. 4th and 1, time winding down, chance to tie it with a field goal or maybe go and win it. He said after the game, so what ended up happening was 4th and 1, then they get a delay of game call. There's 12 seconds left on the play clock, and he's trying to sub in different personnel. Either he didn't like the play call he originally had or something. They get a delay of game. It moves it to 4th and 6. Obviously, they don't get it. He said after the game that someone in his headset told him they got the first down there. That can't happen.
No. You should be aware as a head coach what the fuck is going on. Not
just that, but it always blows my mind when it's 4th and 1, whether it's in the fourth quarter or the first quarter. You don't just have a play that you can get 1 yard with. You don't have that circled on your sheet already. And even if you didn't like your play call, you have to have the wherewithal to know that time is clicking down. You don't have Tua under there to with the experience to hurry up.
Yeah.
And just I don't know, man. That was a tough way for if you're a Dolphins fan to see that game end because by all accounts the Bills were giving it away.
Oh, 100%. Bills were giving the Dolphins that game. When they jumped, I bet the Bills minus 13.5, and when they went up to a 17-0 lead, I was like, it's over. Cash in my bet. And then all of a sudden the Dolphins came back, and then as soon as the Dolphins started taking the lead, or did they take a lead at one point? I'm pretty sure they did. Let me see.
Was it 20?
They tied it up. As soon as the
17,
Dolphins tied it up at
right?
17, I instant panic. I knew that from that moment on, I was like, the Bills aren't going to cover this 13.5.
And then it, like, you know, I thought when they tied at 17-17, the Bills were like, all right, enough is enough. But they kept making just enough mistakes. I mean, their special teams looked awful. The Dolphins were getting prime field position all day long. Good wake-up call for the Bills, though. I think as a coach, if you're Coach McDermott, I think adversity like this early in the playoffs is good because it's a gut check. You know, we almost lost in the wild card round to a third-string rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Undrafted quarterback, I think. Maybe seventh rounder.
Seventh rounder, I think.
So I think, you know, sometimes, like, I hate to keep harping on it, but I was talking about with my dad. My dad grew up coaching, right? And he's like, I loved when things like that happen because you won the game. So you don't have to worry about much now. But you do get to go in that locker room and, you know, ask for some accountability for some of these players. You know what I mean? And whatnot. So we'll see what happens with the Bills going forward. I'd like to think they have better football ahead of them, though.
Yeah. They have to if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. They have to.
Yeah, they can't play like that.
No,
there's just no way.
If they play like that against this weekend against the Bengals, they're going to get their ass whooped.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I agree, and you know we'll get to it in a little bit when we talk about the Bills-Bengals preview. But Allen's got to take care of the football better, man, especially in the playoffs. So, Giants at Vikings. Giants win 31-24. This was a good game. Daniel Jones, man. 24 of 35, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the more impressive stat, 17 carries for 78 yards. That boy was moving.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the Vikings offense just was flat. They weren't there.
Well, it's interesting because when I was going through the recap of this, Cousins had a great game. He was 31 of 39, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns. But I never felt that sense of urgency from them. Never watching that, it was just like, we're good. And then it's like, you know, there's 3 minutes left, right? Like, Hockenson led the way for the Vikings, 10 receptions, 129 yards. But ultimately, on 4th and, what was it, 6?
It was like 4th and 8. And then Hockenson runs a 3 and in. And Cousins hits it. That's on both of them. Yeah, I get it's on Cousins for hitting him, but as you're Hockenson, you can't be running a 3-yard in when it's 4th and 8. Get to the fucking sticks, man.
Yeah, I can't believe Cousins didn't throw it to the sticks. I mean, yeah, so Kurt Warner broke down the play and was like, hey, I don't think, you know, Cousins is at as much at fault as some people think, but he said that the reason Hawkinson's route didn't go to the sticks is because they didn't expect a linebacker to cover there or something like that. I only watched a little bit of it, but apparently it was just like a safety valve there, kind of like sit and watch. I don't think Hockenson even expected to get the ball. I really don't. Like, that's crazy. You got to take a shot, man. Throw it to Jefferson. Like, throw it to your best player. That's a tough way if you're a Vikings fan for that to go out. I will say it was really cool. I was at you know, the local sports bar here watching that game, having a few drinks. One of my buddies that was up there is a huge Vikings fan, grew up in Minnesota. That whole bar, when KJ Osborne scored that touchdown, went crazy. Crazy. I mean, all you heard was, that kid's from Ipsy, that kid's from Ipsy. That was a cool moment. A cool moment. Shout out to KJ for you know,
playoff TD.
Yep. But yeah, the Giants move on. Brian Dable, first-year head coach. Daniel Jones, man, I was so impressed with the Giants' offense in this game.
They look good.
And it's almost like Dable's sitting there like, what can we do? What can he goes, Daniel, come here for a second. He's like, what's up, coach? He's like, I want you to run a lot this game.
He put the game on his back. Coach.
Yeah. Saquon. Wait, what did you say? Oh, he put the team on his back? Yeah.
Not the team.
Saquon had a good game. Two touchdowns. Only 9 carries, though. I'm sure we'll see him more involved as you know, the Giants move forward in the playoffs. But the Giants are going to need a lot more of this from Daniel Jones if they expect to move on against the Eagles for sure. So, Good game. Surprising for a lot of people, I think. But I told everyone all year that the Vikings were frauds, man. Their point differential was so bad all year. I didn't really buy into the Vikings hype. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. It was a good game, kind of a boring game, typical AFC North.
There were 7 possessions the first half.
Yeah,
total.
Yeah, it's just typical AFC North playoff game. Ravens at Bengals. Bengals survive, winning 24-17. I think the story of this game, obviously, is the 98-yard fumble return. Cincinnati's Sam Hubbard, 98-yard fumble return to give Cincy the ultimate advantage they needed. It was 3rd and goal on the 2 with like 12 minutes left. Tyler Huntley tries to do a QB sneak, tries to reach the ball over the pylon. It gets smacked out of his hand, and then the big boy goes rumbling and tumbling 98 yards for the touchdown. No Lamar Jackson for the Ravens in this one, but Huntley was okay. He was 17-29, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, but obviously had the costly fumble at the goal line. After the game, J.K. Dobbins, running back for the Ravens, was not happy. Casey, he was pissed.
We would have won if we would have had Lamar. Shut the fuck up.
And then he also said that he was like disrespected that he didn't get the ball on the goal line. It's like, dude, shut up. Yeah. I hate when players do this. Like, I know hindsight's always 20/20, but I don't know. I hate the bitching and moaning after a loss like that.
Yeah,
we would have won if we had Lamar. Like, maybe not. I don't know.
You probably would have got. Maybe you would have got your ass kicked. Who the fuck knows?
Right.
Dude hasn't played in weeks. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They did say today, obviously, the big story for the Ravens this offseason is going to be, can they get the contract done with Lamar? They came out today, said they're confident that they will be able to get it done. But I don't know, man. I saw, like, the Jets are a potential suitor. I saw Patriots as a potential suitor. So I think Lamar is going to gather interest elsewhere as well. But I think
he's looking for a guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
And the Ravens didn't do that. They offered him $250, and it wasn't all guaranteed. And he wants it all guaranteed because Deshaun got all of it guaranteed. So now every quarterback's going to want their whole contract guaranteed.
Yeah. I will keep an eye on the Lamar Jackson contract saga, obviously. But I wanted the Bengals to win this game, so I'm glad they did, to be completely honest.
Same.
So, last game of the Super Wildcard Weekend. This was probably the worst game of the bunch.
This game sucked.
Yeah, Cowboys at Bucks. Cowboys win easily 31-14.
4 missed extra points.
Oh, I'll get to that. Game was never really close. Dallas led 18-0 at half. Brett Maher, as you just said, 1 of 5 on extra points. Not good, Bob.
Dude,
I felt bad for the kid.
Did you watch the Peyton and Eli cast?
I did, but I couldn't hear the audio because I was out.
Oh, after it was after the 3rd or 4th one, Peyton gets up and goes, "Jesus Christ, can we kick a field goal?"
Oh my god!
Or an extra point. Like Peyton got pissed.
Yeah, well,
what are we doing here?
Yeah, I know. I felt bad for the dude. When he missed the second one, I was like, what's going on? And then he missed the third. I was like, oh, brother. Like,
you can't. And then the 4th comes in.
I was like, he's got the yips.
At the Cowboys.
I saw you were like, I know a kicker if you need one. Yeah, shut up. They did sign a kicker to their practice squad this week, just in case.
Yeah, well, it's just to put some competition during the week, just to put some pressure on.
Yeah. Well, and then if all week, if he's just still missing extra points, I think they'll just be like,
you're done.
Yeah, so got the yips. Dak played well, 25 of 33, 305 yards, 4 touchdowns. Good game from Dak and the Cowboys. Pretty well-rounded. I think Pollard had like 80 yards rushing. They just looked good. Brady had to throw the ball 66 times in this one, and you're never going to win the game. I mean, he's 45 years old.
Well, they couldn't establish the run.
Yeah, they couldn't
run the ball.
Micah Parsons
all.
Was everywhere. I thought.
They disguised him phenomenally in that.
He was
in
played
Dallas
all
defense.
over the
You
front
didn't know
seven.
where the fuck he was, what he was doing, where he was coming from. It was insane what they were doing to that Dallas defense.
Yeah,
Dallas defense.
They he was just all over the front seven.
Yep.
Whether it was guarding the back out of the backfield, rushing off the edge, playing in the middle. I mean, he's about as diverse of a defensive weapon as there is in the NFL. Great player.
What draft was he in? He was last.
Penei Sewell's draft.
Because I wanted him over Sewell, but I'm actually happy with the Sewell pick.
Yeah, no, both are probably going to be Hall of Famers. I think
Right.
Sewell made the most sense for where the Lions were at. You know, you get your star tackle when Decker's eventually gone. Sewell moved back to the left side he'll be there for the next 15 years. So, Bucks fired the offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich today. Apparently, it's going to be a total overhaul by head coach Todd Bowles. So we'll keep an eye on that. And obviously, the big story after this game is what's the future of Tom Brady look like. I personally think he's going to play again. I think he's going to play again.
He's not going to go out like this.
He's going to play one more year. He's going to let everyone know it's his last year so he can get his ego stroked on the way out. Kind of like the Derek Jeter treatment, the Kobe treatment,
the Coach
all
K.
that. Rest in peace, Kobe. But yes, like all those guys. And he deserves it. He's the greatest of all time, no doubt. It will be interesting to see where he ends up, though. Because there's a lot of
San Fran, the Jets.
I
could see the Patriots, honestly.
Ending his career back where it started.
One
That's a
last
big
run.
rumor. And then, obviously, the Raiders, because he already has such a rapport with Josh McDaniels. So, I think wherever he goes, if it's not the Patriots, he's going to go somewhere he thinks he can win. And to me,
Patriots would just be a
farewell tour. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And if you're Mac Jones, I'm requesting a trade. Like, no way. I'm not sitting behind Tom for a year. No shot.
Honestly, that might be good for him. Or a nice reality check.
I guess. I don't know.
The guy.
Dude, if I was the Pats, I wouldn't want anything to do with Tom
neither
Brady's
would
dad
I.
body.
Mac Jones is
I think he's a very competent quarterback.
Jones?
We'll see. Mac Jones, yeah. I think he's good. I don't think he's bad.
Okay.
We'll see. And like I said, we'll keep an eye on what happens with Tom Brady. It's going to be a big offseason in the NFL. There's going to be a lot of moving parts, obviously, a lot of coaching changes, and obviously hometown Lions, Ben Johnson coming back. That's huge. That's huge for the program. So we'll keep you guys appraised of all things offseason in the NFL, obviously. All right, should we jump into the divisional round? Anything else about these games?
Super divisional round.
Okay, let's get to the regular divisional round.
The super divisional round.
Got a quick stat for you here. I thought this was super interesting. Jags and Giants entered the season at 150-1 odds to win the Super Bowl, and now they find themselves in the divisional round. This is the first time two teams at 100-1 Super Bowl odds or greater in the preseason have made it to the divisional round since 1987, and Houston, Oilers, Indianapolis were the last two teams to do that, and they both lost by 17 plus and failed to cover in the divisional round. I don't know if that's a sign of things to come, but just keep that in mind.
Hey, Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost on a Saturday in his career.
That's true.
Is this going to be his first one, or is he going to keep that streak alive?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to keep that in mind. So let's just start right off. So Saturday games, we got Jags at Chiefs. Chiefs are 9-point favorites. Over under 52.5. And Casey, before you make your prediction, unders in home games with Reed and Mahomes are excellent. They're 16-8-1 since 2018 when Kansas City's favored by at least 7 points. The theory is there that they just protect the ball very well. They get a lead and they just kind of coast. So
no, I know, and then the second team the other team might come back a little bit, but give me. Fuck. You go first. I have to think.
Okay. I like Chiefs -9, and I will take the under 52.5.
You like the under?
Yeah, unders in home games with Reed and Mahomes are excellent. They're 16-8-1 when KC's favored by at least 7.
You know what? Let's do it. Chiefs -9 and under. That's just.
I think the Chiefs have waited all season to get to the playoffs, and we're going to see the
play last week, so who knows how hot they're going to come out. I mean, I think they can cover the 9, but like you said, can they hit 52?
Yeah, I think the big thing is like how good is the Jag? Like Trevor Lawrence can't throw 4 picks and win this game. Let me just put it frankly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, all right, so we're on the same side of that one. Go Chiefs. I expect Arrowhead to be rocking. They really, do it well there. So that should be a fun game to watch. Next game, another, divisional rival game here. Giants at Eagles. Eagles are 7.5-point favorites. Over/under at 48. This is the third time in the last 7 weeks these two teams will face off. And the Giants were 13-4 against the spread this year, 14-4 after beating the Vikings. They've been like a darling if you're a bettor. So they usually cover. Like I said, 14-4 after beating the Vikings. So I don't know. What are your thoughts here?
I like the Giants here, +6, 7.5. I think third time.
It's an interesting line. You don't see a lot of lines at 7.5.
And I'm surprised by it. I get the Eagles are the 1 seed and the Giants are a 6 or 7 seed.
6 seed.
They're the 6 seed. Okay, the 6 seed. It's the third time they're playing in the last 6 weeks, 5 weeks,
Yeah, 7 weeks.
7 weeks. I mean, divisional rivals, playoffs, third time within the last 7 weeks. It's going to be a close fucking game. Giants +7, under 48.
Yeah, I like the Giants +7.5 as well. Hold on, I'm gonna look something up in Philly on Saturday. I want to see if the weather's gonna be shitty or not.
Cloudy, 44.
Yeah, 45 and cloudy. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I like the. I'm rolling with you. I like Giants +7.5. And I also like the under here. I'm still not convinced that Jalen Hurts is completely healthy. And they got to prove that to me. But we'll see what happens. The Eagles are really, really good. I think they'll win. I just think it's going to be by 8 touchdowns.
Yeah,
by 8 touchdowns. So, and just keep in mind, guys, at the time of recording, it's Thursday, January 19th. So if any of these lines change, this is just what we got it at today.
It's not on us. So go fuck yourself.
Not on us. A couple other things here. Eagles were not great against the spread this year. I know we already made our picks, but I should have said these beforehand. But I just kind of want to give these out since I took the time to type them. Eagles were not great against the spread this year. They were 8-9 against the spread, and historically, Daniel Jones has been excellent on the road and as an underdog in his career. On the road, he's 18-7 against the spread. That's 9th best out of all the quarterbacks in the last 20 years. As a dog, he's 27-15 against the spread, 8th best out of all the quarterbacks in the last 20 years. As a road dog, he's 17-5 against the spread, which is the 5th best in the last 20 years. And they had the best against the spread season as underdogs in the last 20 years, including playoffs. That speaks, all those trends right there tell you to take the Giants +7.5, which we both did, obviously. So, next game, probably the most anticipated game of this regular divisional playoff round.
Divisional round.
Regular divisional playoff round.
Cincinnati Bengals head up to Buffalo and play the Buffalo Bills in this super divisional round matchup. Bills are -5.5. Over/under sitting at 49
Yep.
even.
So this is 3 weeks after the tragic incident with Damar Hamlin. So these two teams will finally meet again. This was interesting. Did you know the Bills have been favored in every game they played this year? Every game they've been favored. I know. I guess I shouldn't be, but that's still kind of crazy. Concerns for Buffalo. Josh Allen threw two interceptions and lost a fumble against Miami. And in the last 3 games, he's thrown 5 picks. And then on the other hand, since he's hot, man, they've won 9 straight games. And in the last 8 of the regular season, Burrow's 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 270 yards passing per game. So it's going to be a good one. Bengals finished 12-4 against the spread, while the Bills were just 8-1 against the spread. What are your thoughts here, Case? Who do you like?
I like the Bengals +5.5. I think this is going to be a really, really close game, and I love the over. It's going to be an absolute shootout. I think both teams are going to get in the 30s, maybe 40s.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's going to be really high. It's going to be really high scoring, I feel.
Yeah, I love the Bengals +5.5 in this one. I think it's going to come down to a field goal, 100%.
Yep.
Let's see what the weather looks like on
Cold.
Saturday. Cold.
Just cold.
Yep. No rain or wind issues there. So yeah, I'll take the over as well. I totally see. I think this could be 28-28 at half. I really do. It could be that high scoring. I just think that Buffalo's going to look to break out a little bit. And then one other thing for this game, if you want some side action, Action Network had a really good article talking about you should take Devin Singletary under rushing yards in this one. His backfield companion, James Cook, got more touches than he did last game, and I think they're with us thinking that there's just going to be a lot of passes in this one. So if you want some side action, maybe consider Devin Singletary under rushing yards. Next game, last game. Cowboys at 49ers. I'm shocked by this. 49ers are 4-point favorites, over under at 46. I thought it'd be bigger.
Both of these numbers.
Yeah. Cowboys are playing their 4th consecutive road game this weekend, which is interesting because over the last 20 years, only 2 other teams entered the playoff on 4 consecutive road games. 15-16 Steelers. Pitt was +7. They lost 23-16, so they covered. And then Baltimore in 2009, 2010, +6.5. They lost 20-3. 49ers have also won 11 games straight up. So we'll see. We'll see, man. What are your thoughts?
Give me Niners -4 and over 46.
Interesting.
I think their offense gets it done. They can cover. The Cowboys suck, and it's going to be a lot of points.
49ers are going to win the game. I just don't know if I want to take
The touchdown. That's all it is. That's all you got to win is by a touchdown. Not even a touchdown. 2 field goals. It's going to win by 2 field goals, man. 2 field goals.
Did you take the under?
I took the over. Look how many points the 49ers have been scoring. Ever since Purdy's came in, their offense is hot.
Yeah, but just the Cowboys defense, man. Dude, the Cowboys defense just rattle him, man. This is a tough one. I'll take the 49ers -4. I'll take the over. Fuck it. It's more fun to root for points.
Points!
All right, let me open this article. So this is some interesting trends and stuff with like the head refs of these games. I thought this stuff was fascinating. Let me find it. Oh, it's not that one. Oh, right here. Okay, so we'll start with, let's see, the first one. Sean Hakului. He is the head ref for the Jags-Chiefs game. This is his 4th playoff game. The under has hit in 56% of his games. So keep that in mind. Road teams are 44-33-2 against the spread in his games, and underdogs are 43-33-2 against the spread. Also, the Chiefs' offense has committed the least offensive pre-snap penalties this season. So maybe this kind of speaks to the under a little bit. It says it up here. I'm just letting you know. Let's see. The head ref in the Giants-Eagles game is Clete Blakeman. Underdogs are 9-2 against the spread in his previous 11 playoff games, including road teams going 8-2 against the spread. Do you buy into any of this stuff, or does this stuff not even matter?
No, all of that matters.
Yeah, I do.
It's like find when you're betting NBA. If you have a game 6, and it's what the fuck is his name?
I know who you're talking about. They fly him in and
fly him in and say, let's make it a game 7.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but that's like a huge conspiracy. Because
all that matters.
Yeah. So here's
like
another
Scott
one.
Foster or something like that.
It's something like that. Yeah, where they I remember one time he was like not even in the rotation, and he was like the head ref for Game 6. It's like, we'll see a Game 7, no doubt. Another one here, Carl Cheffers. For the Bengals-Bills game, Cheffers have reffed 11 playoff games since 2010. The under is 10-1, going below the total by 13 points per game. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Cheffers refereed the Bills-Ravens playoff game in 2021. That was a 17-3 final. The total was at 50 there. So keep in mind. For the Cowboys San Fran game, underdogs are 11-5 against the spread when Bill Vinovich refs games this season. It's just interesting because obviously these refs directly impact, and if they have trends like that, they got to be calling games a certain way.
All that matters, especially when you're betting. You have to find out who the ref is, what is happening, all that shit matters. And then when you're talking college sports, you have to figure out what fucking uniforms they're wearing, because all that fucking matters too. Because there was one time I bet a game, and I found out this other team that I bet against was wearing this alternate uniform that looked sick as shit. Guess what happened? Lost my bet. If I would have known that before I placed my bet, I would have went the other way. Uniforms matter in college sports.
Can I tell you something that really bothers me?
What?
Really, really, really bothers me. Why, when the Bucks are at home, do they have to wear their away jerseys just because the Cowboys are coming to town? That is the most asinine, we are more special than anyone else in the NFL thinks. If I was the Bucks, I'd be like, we're wearing red. You guys can wear your
one of
home.
those things that, does Jerry Jones pay him? We're wearing our
just some handshake agreement with the
you
NFL?
wear your whites, here's a check for $5 million.
No way. That's crazy, though. It shouldn't bother me, but it's like the most
it
pretentious.
pisses me off. It's like they wear white
what makes
at
you
home.
so special? Yeah, what makes you so special? I hate that, man. When I'm sitting there and I was talking with a buddy, and I was like, he's like, what are you grumbling about? I was like, the fucking Cowboys, man. I said, who died and made them king to where they can just show up and be like, oh, by the way, you have to wear your away jerseys at home because we're wearing our dark blues.
Right.
Like, I would, if I was the Bucks, I would have been like, no, you're not. You're just not. You're wearing your white jerseys.
Yeah, guess you're heading
we're
back
gonna
to
wear
Dallas.
our red.
Guess you're heading back to Dallas to get your fucking whites.
Yeah, no, we're at home. We call the shots. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. But maybe the Bucks felt like they played better in whites this year, like you said. I don't know, but still, it's just there's something. It'd be like the Yankees wearing pinstripes on the road and wearing gray uniforms at home. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Why'd you have to bring them up? You closet.
Because the Yankees and Cowboys are like the same.
No, you're just a closet Yankee fan. Let's just end it on that.
That's just not true.
Everyone, Tyler's a closet Yankee fan. Tyler's a
Shout out to Ben Johnson.
Tyler's a closet Yankee fan. Let's go Red Sox!
Shout out to Ben Johnson. Shout out to Ben Johnson.
Sox!
Good game. Or good show. Sorry.
Good game, folks.
Fuck Riverside.
Love you guys. Fuck
See you guys.
Riverside.